Bono here on E2X Radio. This program is Bono Calling. I'm going to dial up one of the more interesting people I know and ask about 7 questions with a few interjections, personal, philosophical, perhaps even a bit nosy. This time I'm calling Chris Rock. Genius, comedian, actor, writer, director, one of the quickest minds I've ever encountered. Chris Rock makes us laugh at things that might otherwise make us cry. I hope he picks up. Let us give it a try. Chris Rock, are you there? Is there any intelligent life? Do we even have a planet?
Yes.
Very good. And if there is one, what are we going to do with it?
If there is a world, we will be on the road.
I think we might be.
I got a feeling we'll be seeing each other in hotel lobbies, perhaps.
I think we do good lobby.
You know, you'll play the stadium, I'll play the arena. It'll be fine. It's like we'll kind of follow each other, you know?
Even before I ask my first question.
Whatever you want.
I just have to ask, how did you get born with the name Rock? Chris Rock.
It's my actual real name. I remember when I was in, it's weird, for a long time, you know, I was bused to school. There was a lot of white kids. They would pick on me all the time. Piece of the Rock, Flintstone, Rockhead, whatever. I get transferred to the black school, and they hear the teacher call me Chris Rock. They don't know if it's my real name or I'm so fucking cool. I got the teacher calling me Chris Rock. Like, who the fuck is Chris Rock?
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah, I mean, most people are changing their names. I mean, you're looking at one, but you got born with that. And
my mother's Rose Rock. What's a cooler name than that?
That is beautiful. You have memories from before you could speak. What was your first conscious memory and how vivid?
I have memories of being, I gotta say, 1.5, 2. I have memories of walking and not being able to talk. And being little and looking at people and almost like, like sometimes you see cartoons and the animals can talk amongst themselves, but when they talk to the humans, it's just, rah. It's just, I remember like, hey, I'm hungry. What are you guys doing? Like, but it not coming quite out. I remember even kind of observing adults, not even knowing what drunk was, but knowing that person was drunk.
Oh, yeah. I remember the smell.
You know what I mean? Yeah. 2, 3.
Wow.
I remember not being ready to talk and dying to talk, which is what I make my living doing, is talking. So when is it coming? When is I can communicate?
Bursting out of yourself. Yeah. I do remember my head being lower than a piano keyboard. We didn't have a piano in our house, but go around to our granny's. And I couldn't see the keyboard, but I could reach up, find a note, and then I was looking for a rhyme for it. There was music in me. Where do you feel most at home?
Honestly, I mean, it sounds corny. I feel most at home on stage. On stage in front of, let's say, 3,000 people. Like
3,000 of your closest friends.
Yeah, because, I mean, I've done 20,000. I've done 70,000. But that's no job.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like work. But I can do 3,000 so relaxed. What, like 1,500?
I remember you prepping for some tour, and we were out in New York, and you just turned up at this comedy club, I kind of borrowed their stage, asked the manager, would he mind? People's jaws dropped. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, that was a good night. That was a good night.
You were totally relaxed.
Yeah, that's like probably like 80 people. You've played the Apollo Theater, yeah, in Harlem. That's 1,700. That
perfect.
Is like the balconies are really close to so close to the stage. If you stand too far up on the stage, they can't see you.
Right. Yeah.
At the top, like, you know what I mean? Like, don't go past this line, or else it's a bad seat over there. Like, so I'm really comfortable on stage.
So does a crowd frighten you? You're not frightened by crowds? Is there anything that frightens you?
No, crowds don't frighten me. It's weird. Everybody's, we're in pandemic now, and people are like, oh, why don't you do comedy online? Why don't, do you really need an audience? And I was telling somebody the other day, I said, singers, bands, they perform for an audience. I play the audience.
Wow.
The comedian, the audience is the instrument in which I am playing. Yes, I have jokes I wrote already and everything, but I am feeling this pulse. The audience is like, I'm a doctor, I'm operating, and I'm constantly getting the vital signs from this organism. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's how I feel. Like, yeah, I play. That is my instrument. That is my piano. That is my guitar, is the audience.
Yeah, I've never heard it put like that. And I would, from my end, I sometimes feel that the songs are singing you, meaning the crowd are singing you, that I'm their instrument. But that's very interesting.
I've seen you play the audience. I've been to 40 U2 shows or whatever. So depending on I remember the tour where you guys just came out with the lights up.
Oh yeah. Elevation.
Yeah, that was my favorite one.
Yeah.
Just like, you know what I mean? It's like, you knew what that would do.
We stole that from Sinatra.
Well, I stole it from you. Like my next tour, I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, we're all of us stealing from the thieves, is the truth. It's a thing. But you've been to a lot of U2 shows. This is a very singer question. You'll understand the humor of it now, which is, as my mate Gavin Friday says, insecurity is your best security.
Yes, it is.
If you're a singer.
Yes.
So what's your second favorite show?
Insecurity is your best security. Yes. Conan O'Brien once said to me, I like you. You always do well because you have the decency to be scared.
Oh, that's a great line. Yeah. This is going to be good. No, I am scared. I can wake up in the morning nauseous, but
the decency to not come in cocky. I've done 1,000 of these. Point me in the right direction.
But you're not afraid.
The decency.
That was TV.
I'm not afraid, but I am. I do know what a loss looks like.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, I do.
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather's never lost a fight. But you can tell by the way he fights, he knows what getting knocked out looks like. There's a good story where Floyd Mayweather, biggest ego in the world, is talking shit to Sugar Ray Leonard. And I don't know why he's talking shit to Sugar Ray Leonard. I guess somebody was like, who would win in a fight between you two? And Floyd Mayweather's like, I would knock him out, whatever, right? And then Sugar Ray goes, hey, don't forget, I knocked out your daddy. And it was like, whoa.
No, fear.
Yeah.
Fear and faith. They're great motivators.
Yeah. So Floyd remembers Ray Leonard knocking out his father.
That's just.
And yeah, I've seen people bomb horribly.
Yeah.
I've bombed horribly. And
have you?
Yeah, anybody that takes a chance, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know, you've had records that shoot through the moon, and you've had records that, like, you know, sober you. But I learned this in movies. The best people make the worst movies. There's bad movies that are bad because a person is just being safe and not trying anything. And then there's the bad movies made by great people that are really bad because at every turn they're trying something.
That's kind of like songs. You have to get out of your own skin.
Yeah.
You have to be somewhere that terrifies you to connect with that part of your soul that is going to connect with other people. They know if you're comfortable. And art is not made when it's too comfortable.
Yeah.
Something else is made. Entertainment is made. That can be fun. But great entertainment even it's on the edge.
Yeah.
Your thing is on the edge. What we love you is that we don't know what you're going to say next. We don't know where you're going to go. You're going to drop the plane. You're going to, that's what I admire about stand-up. And I've told you this, before, but I think, you're the very top of the food chain of the entertainment business. The brain works quicker, and you don't have a guitar. You don't have a kit of drums or a band. You're just...
I don't sing, but I do write verses and choruses and an occasional bridge.
I mean, I was going to say you don't sing, but you sort of do.
I do. There is no great comedian that doesn't understand song structure.
Right. Right.
There's none. I mean, like way back, they all understand. Jerry Seinfeld writes like Billy Joel writes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like great little pop ditties that fucking you remember 20 years later.
This is a great interview.
And most good comedy is like pop music. It's on the floor. You can literally, and hooks. You could time out a Richard Pryor concert. It's on the floor.
And hooks.
Yeah. So anyway.
What frightens you?
What frightens me? Irrelevance frightens me. Throat cancer frightens me.
Yeah, that's a voice. You don't want to lose that voice.
Woo!
I'm glad I'm not glad you're frightened. I understand that you're frightened.
I mean, it's like, okay, I can get anything. I remember me and a good friend of mine, Colin Quinn, we used to talk about writing all the time. And we used to, was like, I want to write an act that's so good I can do it behind a curtain. Like, that's how good I want the jokes to be.
I mean, we're like that with our music too, in a sense that we want these melodies to be so strong you could hear them around the corner or across the street or coming out of the window of a cab, or, just melodies so hard, so tight that they pierce concrete, sort of thing.
I remember one album, God damn, the Elevation album, there was a song on it. What the hell was that song? There was one song that was so good, and it's my definition of a great song. It's like...
All That You Can't Leave Behind was the album.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of anything in this world. That the one that opens with that line, stuck in a moment you can't get out of.
I like that one. I like the one, I'm trying to be like you. I look at it, I try. I can't say, to be like you.
And I try to be like, when I look at the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I love a song that's so good that I think it's a cover. Like, there's no way in the world this guy thought of this song. It's too good.
Oh, that's
This idea is too good to not have been there before.
You're being too kind. Is there anything major you've changed your mind about?
Is there anything major I've changed my mind about? I don't know. You know what? I'll say this. These protests in the last, month now has given me some optimism about, institutional racism. Like, I don't know. It's like, when I see the young people, when I see the mix of people out on the street, comedian, man, we're cynical fucks. But when I see this mixture of people and this dedication every day out there, I guess I hope this doesn't sound horrible, I'm more optimistic about white people in general, especially the young ones. I'm like, okay.
Steady on. We're Irish people. I mean, we're not white. We're sort of pink.
I have some of my best shows in Ireland.
Yeah.
I mean,
they love you. We love you.
The blackest white people in the world.
But there is something going on out there. You know this, if you're talking about hook lines, there's Cornel West has this line, justice is what love looks like when it goes out in public. Have you heard that line?
Justice is what love looks like when it goes out in public. That is beautiful.
So I was doing I've been playing with this idea that America doesn't exist yet. The world has never heard.
Yeah.
Like it's been written, but it's not been written. It's like half written. It certainly hasn't been recorded. And the idea that this might be the generation that brings it into being is what gives me a charge when I see those people out on the streets. And they know, it's like a family secret. It's like something's been going on in the family and it's coming out. And this is, there's a few dirty little secrets in all our countries, but this is a massive thing. And it's going on around the whole world. And it must be an amazing moment growing up in wherever, Brooklyn or wherever. Your family were from South Carolina, weren't they? Your granddad was a preacher, right?
Originally from South Carolina. Yeah, both parents. I am a lot of preachers in my lineage. So
what would he make of this moment?
I don't know. I don't know if he trusted, being around a black guy. Okay, if my father's born in 1933, my grandfather's born in 13, right?
Right.
1913.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know if he trusts anything.
Yeah, the First World War is just about to happen.
A black guy born in 1913.
Yeah.
That is a cynical motherfucker. That guy didn't trust anything. But
he became a preacher, and he's in a taxi, right? He drove to a taxi and a preacher, right?
Yes.
So is he preaching to the people in the back seat?
A little bit. He was two guys. Okay, so my grandfather, on one hand, absolutely was a preacher. On the other hand, he liked the ladies. So my grandfather actually killed a man.
Wow.
Because anybody that cheats is jealous. Cheaters are the most jealous people. So my grandmother was sleeping with the guy next door.
Oh.
So he tells the guy, he goes over to the guy's house. He goes, if you take one step in my yard, I'm going to shoot you. And the guy took one step and my grandfather shot him.
Oh my God.
My father had 9 brothers, 5 sisters. I believe they tried to drag the guy in the house and say he stole something. Of course, the police saw through all of that or whatever. And long story short, my grandfather ended up going to jail for manslaughter.
Right.
Which is 7 years. People don't realize we deal with people that have killed people every day. Guys on your crew, roadies that have killed somebody. And my grandfather went to jail. He got out. I don't know, maybe he did 5 years or whatever of the 7. And within a year and a half, he was the preacher of that church again.
But, one of the things about the Bible is it's filled with characters like your grandfather. Like, I remember when I was in my 20s and somebody on the campus in Ireland was going around saying, look at all these people that are in the Bible, on the scriptures, like Moses is a murderer, David's an adulterer. All these people are crazy lunatics. How can you take these words seriously? And then somebody else pointed out that's why, because these people remind us of ourselves. And particularly in the Old Testament, this is it's not Sunday school.
Yeah, people that have sinned are the best at policing sinners. And they can the best drug counselors are former addicts. It's, you know what I mean? Like, of course, an addict can see better than a person that's never done anything. So it's probably one of the reasons the world is in, at least the United States is in the predicament that it's in. We demand this puritanical nature of everybody, and we're trying to cancel everybody. And
right.
So you don't have any real people running for office.
Yeah, fundamentalism is not far from the surface of the most liberal of us.
Yeah.
We tend to, if you're on the left, we look down our nose at conservatives. Like I was asking of somebody recently at the top 40 colleges in the United States, how many of them were conservative? And there was like, I think 3 or 4 was the answer. And my thoughts were like, that explains a lot, because if you're doing well in your life and your kid gets to go to college, you're doing well, they're smart, they go to college and they come home for the summer thinking you're stupid.
Wow.
Because you're a conservative. So now climate change, is these the same people that are telling me the world is heating up? So they don't believe that the system, this is an amazing thing, is that, we're becoming more and more fundamentalist at every layer, at every part of the spectrum. So on the right, on the left, and the radical center, which is, I think, where I come in, and I think you, is being pushed out. It's like that Yeats poem, things fall apart, the center cannot hold, mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. That's what happens when you push out the center.
Yeah. We also have a problem with, I've read my Bible, I've read my Quran, I've never really read the Torah, but, and we can all argue about the silly things in these books, but the principles are really solid. The fairy tale aspects of it, did a bush burn and talk? Who knows, right?
Yeah.
But the commandments are really kind of solid.
Yeah.
And there's one commandment that we're all ignoring. It's like every religious book has a passage about gossip and bearing false witness. Every single one. And gossip, bearing false witness, is a sin right next to murder and adultery.
Right.
And for some reason, the whole world has accepted that it's okay to gossip. to not even gossip, to have conviction about things we don't know about.
Character assassination.
And because of this, the whole world is in turmoil. Because conviction about things you don't fucking know about makes other people have conviction about shit they don't know about.
Yeah.
Everybody's fighting about shit they're not fucking sure about. I don't know. It's not a complete thought, but it just, when did we accept gossip is okay?
Yeah.
It rots everything.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Well,
oh, God.
And what about lying? On which occasion do you lie?
Which occasion do I lie? Well, by the way, I always say, on the United States, both parties lie. The Republicans tell outright lies, and the Democrats leave out key pieces of truth that would lead to a more nuanced argument, which is also lying.
Mm-hmm. When do you lie?
Me? I don't know. I guess I would lie to prop up a story to, make it a better story. I'm not lying to hurt anybody. I'm just lying to make your interaction with me a little more enjoyable.
That was very, thank you. Thank you for your lies.
Yeah. It's like a courteous lie. Just like
I found you a very reliable liar myself. On the occasions when we've met, I've enjoyed in those lies. There seems to be little locked up truths sometimes.
Yeah,
and I love that.
Wait, have I answered everything?
Okay, my last question, which is there a song that saved your life? Is
there a song that saved my life? I don't know. You know what? It changes every day. You know what I would say? Rapper's Delight changed the trajectory of my existence. It made me, it's like these musicians that aren't musicians. I don't know. It opened up a whole world to me that I could be anything that
right.
I didn't.
You could say anything.
Yeah. I mean, NWA did that later on, but there's something about Rapper's Delight that, at least for now, is the most important record maybe in the history of recording. You know what I mean? Like one hip hop to hibbity. I mean, it's so weird that what has happened from that
to that.
You know what I mean? That started.
You know what really blows my mind about hip hop is you think that the language, the sound of the language, that English is part of it because this came out of America. But you go to France, it works beautifully. You go anywhere in the world, and whereas rock music does not. I mean, it's harder for whatever the consonants in Germany. It's hard to get those. Rock music is like opera. It likes E or O, at least these kind of elongated vowel sounds, and that's how we get those big notes. But when you've got a voice like Bob Dylan, you can go, man, cornflakes box. You can run cornflakes box with clocks, and it's like, wow. And then he would never do that, by the way, because he's a genius. But there is something about rap that it's amazing that it serves language, whichever the language, even if it's not part of the experience of being a black man in America. It's a stunning gift. And I'll end on this because you're kind of this is what you do. You are a rapper. You're a very musical force as a conversation. I'm so pleased that you are my inaugural Bono Calling interview, and I'm just a bigger fan. They say don't meet your heroes. I'm so glad that we've spent some time together.
It was great.
And did you see that I kept it to 3 interjections?
Whatever. I'm all yours.
7 questions and 3 interjections.
I'm so glad that we spent some time together, and we're going to spend lots more time together.
God bless you, Chris.
All right.
See ya.
Take care.